If I had to start my business all over again, this is what I would do. Hi, I'm Sema Martin. I'm a pair portrait artist and I have been for the last 10 years. But if I had to start completely again, I would probably do very similar things that I started with, apart from one. So when I first started, before even taking any commissions, I produced a portfolio. And what a portfolio is an example of your work. It's an example of what you can do, I guess, in the niche that you're trying to get paid for. So I wasn't just drawing any random animals and being like, I can draw your dog or pet while displaying a tiger. That's not what I mean by a portfolio. I mean like you practice the actual subject that you're trying to get other people to buy from you. So I actually did a lot of dog and cat drawings just from anywhere. I had no intention of selling my portfolio, so it didn't necessarily matter about copyright restrictions and things like that. I still used license-free image websites like Unsplash and Pixabay just to make sure, but because I had no intention of actually selling these drawings, it's basically fine whatever you use to practice your artwork. So it doesn't matter too much if it's just practice. So I would go on Unsplash and I would find a few good examples of what I want to attract. So I did a black dog, a really cute looking black dog, and I did a tabby cat, a ginger tabby cat. I really love cats. I love drawing cats, especially tigers, especially big cats. So I thought I'm going to practice some smaller cats, some domestic cats. And so I just basically chose a couple of pictures from Unsplash. I drew those and I put those online. I shared it with... I didn't have any sort of page or anything. You don't necessarily need that to start. You just need to share it with people. So I shared it on my personal Facebook group. I shared it with my friends and family. And that's how I got my first commission, through a friend. She saw my ginger tabby cat drawing and wanted me to draw her ginger tabby cat. It's as simple as that, honestly. So when you start, create a portfolio of what you want to attract, what you want people to commission you for. It's very simple. Other people need to see an example of what you can do. They can't necessarily imagine what you can do. If you're presenting them a tiger or a lion and saying, I can draw your dog, they can't imagine you being able to draw their dog because you're not showing them how you can draw dogs. So draw a dog, draw as many breeds as you like, maybe some specific popular breeds that you enjoy. So if you're mad about German Shepherds, draw some German Shepherd examples to attract more German Shepherd loving owners. If you love Schnauzers, draw some Schnauzer examples to attract some Schnauzer owners. It's very simple in terms of that respect of drawing what you want to attract. And that's exactly what I did to start with, so I wouldn't change that at all. The next thing is the sharing. So I started straight away sharing on social media with my friends and family. I then started sharing to Facebook groups. So I applied to join a few of the Facebook cat groups, specifically cat breeds like a ginger cat, ginger tabby cat, ginger cats, that kind of thing. And then that's where I shared my artwork. Now, I personally wouldn't necessarily jump to sharing on Facebook. I would start locally. So after I've shared everything I can to my friends and family, everyone that knows me, they're the easiest place to start because they already know you. They trust you. They know you're going to deliver. It's sort of a little bit easier to show yourself to them. But in respect of payment, it can be trickier and harder to ask your friends and family for money. And also harder, sometimes they don't necessarily want to pay for you because they want a friend discount or a family discount. So they're not always the best people to start with. So it completely depends on your situation. My friends and family are incredibly supportive. So for me, it was a great place to start. The next place would be local. So I would print out some flyers, some posters, maybe make a few business cards. It doesn't have to be anything expensive. You can even draw the poster yourself if you want to cut down on printing costs, but it just has to be an example of your work and some contact information. Very, very simple. And then I would post that everywhere. So your local coffee shops, cafes, dog-friendly pubs and restaurants, anywhere that's animal friendly, even pet shops, groomers, salons, everywhere that you can think of that pet owners would be. You can be more specific at this stage if you're just trying to attract dog owners because you only want to draw dogs, then do that. Have your poster with dogs on it. If you're just trying to attract cat owners because you love drawing cats, then make sure your poster has a cat on it and nothing else. If you're an equine artist because you love horses, you ride horses, you draw horses, then make sure your poster has a horse on it. Just a horse. Keep your posters very simple and only put on what you want to attract. I know you could possibly draw owls and tigers and cows and whatever it is that you can draw, but don't put them as examples on a pet portrait poster. Make sure it's just pets on your pet portrait poster. So that is definitely what I would do. I actually have a template pack that you can download and you don't have to think about any of this because I've already done it for you. So you can just click the link below and download your own template pack for posters and stuff like that. So after I've put up all of my posters, I would then start online. So you can then start with groups, Facebook groups, forums, anything like that, Reddit, that kind of thing, just sharing your work and talking about your work. You don't want to be salesy. You don't want to be like, commission me now. You just want to be like, look at this drawing I did. This is the story of that cat. This is, what I thought about drawing that cat. Like, actually get people to fall in love with you and your thoughts behind the artwork you create and the subjects that you're drawing as well. Like, that's really important. It's people's pets. They love their pets. Sometimes they love their pets just as much as children because those are their children. So you need to be very observant of that and understanding and really make sure that you're speaking respectfully about the pets when you're talking about them, when you're displaying them. And when you do start getting commissions, again, be respectful to the owner, to the pet. Ask permission to share the artwork. So you can say to them, can I share progress pictures? Can I share the final result in groups, etc.? Let them know where you want to put it. Can I put it on my website? All that kind of stuff. So make sure that you ask for permission because it is their pet. Even though you technically retain the rights to the image because you've drawn it, it's out of respect to ask if you can share the image itself. So I would always do that as well, out of politeness and respect for your client. So I would then just basically keep going from there in terms of sharing publicly, posters, flyers. You could go to markets. And you can do all of this without spending any money. You don't have to go and get a fancy website before you start taking commissions. And you don't, I definitely didn't. You don't need to buy a load of materials, buy a load of packing supplies and stuff just to start taking commissions. Just start asking people, telling people, inviting them to come and see what you've done, show them examples, which is why a portfolio is so important. So that is exactly what I did to start my pet portrait business. Aside from the flyers, I did that a lot later on when I got into a good flow with social media. I then decided to take it more local, But as a person that travels quite a lot, I don't necessarily have a local. I move like every few years, so local for me doesn't last very long. But if you are someone that, has stayed in a place longer than 2 years, then local is fantastic. Go local, advertise locally, be the local pet portrait artist. It's so much easier to do that rather than compete online with other pet portrait artists and trying to be seen and fighting the algorithm and all of the stress that can come with that. So starting locally is definitely something that I personally would do if I started again today. And I would also make sure to have a really solid portfolio under my belt. So if you want to know more about starting and growing a pet portrait business, you can now download the booklet, the prospectus below for the Business of Pet Portraits course, where I literally go through everything for you. It's all of my year's experience in some bite-size, easy to follow videos with lots of templates and downloads for you as well, trying to make your life easier. And I will see you next time. Bye.